Tony, every matchmaker has a story behind why they entered the profession. What's your story?
Why did I even choose matchmaking? I would say that honestly, I tell people I've been matchmaking my whole entire life as I grew up with my mom throwing Filipino disco parties and tons of events and simply taking after my mom being a super connector. And here in Denver, I've spent the last 25 years connecting the dots of Denver's community through massive events and public service. But I eventually realized my real calling wasn't just introducing people at a festival or a networking function. It was really about helping my own LGBTQ plus family find the kind of deep, committed love that actually changes a life. And I wanted to build a dedicated, high integrity space where our community feels truly chosen and not just swiped upon.
That is such a great way to describe what you're doing, which is very commendable. I know that you spent many years as a community leader, producing events and that kind of thing. How did that inform what you do today in your matchmaking business?
Yeah, so it grew naturally out of, like you said, my decades as a hyper public event producer and community leader here in Denver. I was already a trusted connector, and people frequently came to me for personal introductions. And also, Tony, do you know an accountant? That kind of connecting. I realized that the modern dating landscape was leaving high achievers completely burnt out by the apps. So I took my 25 years of local connections and relationships and blended it with executive headhunting strategies. Just like I'm learning with you, Arlene, I turned that to trust into Denver's Cupid.
Yeah, I really love everything that you're doing. And I know that you work primarily, exclusively really, with the LGBTQ plus community. Why did you feel that was necessary? And I think you sort of touched on it a few minutes ago, but let's go a little bit deeper about why this community needed a matchmaker.
Yeah, I'd say that I wanted to go directly with what I know the best. And of course, that starts with my relationship with my husband since 2002. And I think that businesses have success based on a niche. And so that's why I wanted to focus on the LGBTQ plus community right here in Denver.
What I love about you and your business is that you have that cultural competency and that you're not trying to be everything to everyone. And to your point, having a successful marriage and being with someone now for so many years, it's just incredible.
Yes, and thank you. And it's also something that I talk about when I'm talking to potential clients or just networking is I go based on the values of my own relationship. It took a lot of work that I did on myself. It's that they call it doing the work that I always talk to people that before I ever got into my relationship, I had to do my own work and go through my own hard knocks. And also that I met my husband playing volleyball. So relationships, many times, friendship, business, or otherwise, are based on shared values. And if you look at your own friend group, you probably share the same values. And so that's what I like to share with people is my own personal experiences. And that is my bedrock.
I'm curious for you going into matchmaking, what was it about this industry and the business and the profession itself that really surprised you? Like, oh, I didn't know that about matchmaking.
Yeah, without question, one of the biggest surprises was it is very deeply personal. And I knew it'd be hands-on, but I'm dealing with people's core, as you know, their vulnerabilities, the things they're looking for as part of their lifetime legacy, what brings them daily peace, what do they fear the most about not being in a relationship, and those kinds of things. But I'm also surprised by how many professionals who are very disciplined in their careers suddenly get timid or they treat their love life like a low effort side project. It's kind of like you're not doing your own tailoring, you get a tailor for a very specialized need. And so it's surprising to find sometimes the amount of attention that high achieving professionals will give their professional life, but then their love life, they're going to be leaving it up to roulette on an app or just doing what they've always done versus hiring a professional.
Wow, I couldn't have said it better myself. That is so true. What would you say to anyone who's considering going into the matchmaking field?
Well, I'd say number one, reach out to people like you, Arlene, get visible. Something that I am very proud of is my 25-year history in Denver. I say, look me up on all the social media channels on Google. You need to know who you're working with. So don't hide behind a screen as a new matchmaker. If you really want to stand out from the noise, you really need the Love Pro Mastermind Academy. But then also, most importantly, make sure you're doing it because you genuinely care about people's happiness. Not just because it sounds like a glamorous job because you saw it on TV with all these television shows. You really, really, really have to want to do it for the right reasons.
That is so true. And thank you, by the way, for those kind words. I have to say, you are an amazing matchmaker who genuinely cares about people. And I see your heart all the time when we talk. But I also think you need a show. I think you need a TV show.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Tell everyone about your ideal client, where you're located, how should people reach you?
Yeah, right when you go to denverscupid.com, and that's the number one place I recommend people start, is the website, all the services that we offer, along with private, personal, boutique matchmaking. We also do events, and because my mom raised me with so many parties, I love bringing everyone together at speed dating events. I've been doing speed dating events since 2020 when I started the business, and that is like 2,000 speed daters, thousands of new friendships, thousands of dating connections, and those kinds of things. But the ideal client is it's executive matchmaking for exceptional LGBTQ people. And that means you've done the work, you want to have a professional help you find that ideal person, architect those relationships, do the work of diving deep. I become my client's headhunter. We instantly expand opportunities and possibilities. So there's no longer a roulette of who is this person going to be. I always love when people say, they ask me, what kind of dates do you put me on? I said, well, I can tell you this. It's not going to be a 15-minute cocktail or coffee. People set that up on their own because they don't know what they're getting themselves into. Trust me, 100% of the time, and this is one of my favorite metrics, no one has ever said, Tony, what the hell were you thinking on that date? My dates are 2 hours, 3 hours. It's because of the time that matchmakers take to vet those people based on their values, where they're at in life, down to the icebreaker question based on their values. So I love that those dates are long dinner dates. They're not your 15-minute coffee meeting just in case you need to cut and run.
I love the energy. I love the effort that you put into your business. And I think if anyone is in Denver in the LGBTQ plus community and wants to find a reliable matchmaker, they should definitely contact you. We'll make sure to put all the information in the show notes. Thank you so much, Tony, for being there.